Mercedes-Benz India has rolled out the first luxury EV from their factory in Chakan in the form of the EQS 580 4MATIC. That's the car we have right here, and it is made in India. It is a very proud moment for all of us, and we're going to be taking it out for a spin. It is like taking a step into the future because this car is just so futuristic in everything, be it design, features, the way it drives, everything. I'm from Gore, you're watching MotorScribes, and in this video, we're talking about this beautiful, beautiful electric vehicle that has hit our market. So first things first is obviously the fact that it's just such a good looking luxury sedan. It is a massive vehicle. It stretches about the same length as a regular S-Class, but as far as the design elements that really stand out go, it's a car that looks like nothing else on the road. It's almost spaceship-like in appearance. So up front, you've got these beautiful digital lights that do a fantastic job of lighting up the road, and a lot of fancy stuff as well. And then you've got this nice shut-off grille with the Mercedes logo in there that again looks extremely futuristic and gives this car this absolute futuristic front end. I love the fact that the front bumper has this really nicely scooped out sort of look, and it really brings about an element of sportiness to this luxury EV. The 580 4MATIC happens to ride on large 20-inch rims, which look absolutely stunning. They fill the wheel wells out really nice. And as you can see, they almost measure about half the height of the car. But speaking about the fact that this is an EV, what Mercedes has done is everything is designed to sort of conform to making it sort of cut through the air. It does boast of a 0.20 CD, which is your coefficient of drag. And that makes it rather sleek. It's slicing through the air, which also helps in bringing out the efficiency with the vehicle. So you've got this real flowing line. It flows down towards the rear. Everything is smooth. The surfaces are smooth. The door handles, they sit flush with the body and they pop out when you touch them. So again, very neat feature and very nicely done. At the rear, what you get is Mercedes again bringing out their element of design, playing around with lighting a lot. So you've got the tail lamps, and they have this really cool sort of way they light up. They almost look like coils. I think that's a theme going with this all-electric vehicle. You've got a nice beam that sort of connects both sides, and brilliant badging. The logo pops up for the rear view camera, and at the bottom, as you would have noticed, there are no tailpipes, but you do get a nice little spoiler. Despite being a large sedan, it's not your typical boot that just sort of pops open from here. It opens up more like a notchback, and it gives you a ton of boot space. If I'm right, it's in excess of 600 liters. But all in all, when we're looking at the vehicle, we're talking about design. I think Mercedes has done a fantastic job of bringing about a vehicle that's futuristic, stylish, plush, and you just want to see one in your garage. So when it comes to the cabin of the Mercedes EQS 580 4MATIC, it has been done up in a very plush sort of style and design, and in the way it's been totally laid out. Obviously, taking center stage is this large 56-inch Gorilla Glass screen It is the largest screen you'll find in any car, and it is divided into 3 smaller screens, and it's also the first time that a passenger gets their own screen. Don't worry, Mercedes has thought about safety, so if a driver does stare at the passenger screen too long, it will dim or go off. But it is these 2 screens that the driver gets. It's a very futuristic cockpit. It's a wonderful place to be seated in the driver's seat, and everything about this car screams luxury and about being from the future. So it's really easy to use. A fantastic layout of buttons. You've got your dynamic control settings over here, start stop right here, a large touchscreen which gives you all your connectivity needs, your map, your navigation, everything. You can pair more than one phone to it, and the list is so long. I think we can do a separate video on just what the new Mercedes sort of infotainment system and large screens can do. But the couple of things that I liked about it when I was using it on the drive was obviously the large screen giving you navigation. It just looks brilliant on this screen. And your digital display right here for the driver. You can scroll through, set it up differently, use different modes for the dials. So you've got a classic setting, you've got a sport setting, and it's very neat. And you also get memory adjust seats. So you got 3 settings over here, and you can use the controls on the door to get that ideal driving position. Mercedes has given the 580 4MATIC a nice large sunroof, and as far as space allocation is concerned on board, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, we're talking about S-Class level of leg space and shoulder room. Even with the sloping roof at the rear, I think rear passengers get ample headroom, and it is a very comfortable place to be. So all in all, I think when it comes to the cabin, the features, and everything that Mercedes has provided in this car, it is something that will blow your mind. It will be something that will leave you entertained. And as far as learning about all the features in the screen, I think you need to go to Mercedes-Benz and probably do like a 3-month course to understand each and every feature. That's just how many there are. So while I have spoken about the cabin and the big stuff on board with the 580 4MATIC, the key highlights that you do get on board with this as far as tech and convenience is concerned is you get a biometric scan right here. And with this, you can save all your settings. So you can save multiple settings. All you do is scan your thumb imprint and it recognizes who you are, and the settings go to what you want. So again, very advanced, very cool. You get a 15-speaker Burmeister audio system that's excellent for audio playback. You can crank up your music, listen to your favorite tunes, and it is an indulgence at a different level. And last but not the least, you get front and rear ventilated seats, which is again that added convenience that you're always looking for with a luxury car. So over here at the back, we've got the charging port. It takes the regular charger as well as the DC fast charger. And the setup is quite novel with the EQS 580 because with the DC fast charger, in 15 minutes, you can get a 210 kilometer range, which is very decent if you are doing a trip and you just don't want to take a large pit stop. But having said that, it takes just a shade over 30 minutes for you to get 80% battery capacity. So again, Mercedes is scoring big time when it comes to ensuring that you can use this as your daily driver. As far as the electric drivetrain of the EQS 580 4MATIC is concerned, it's got a very cool layout. So it's an all-new platform with the batteries integrated in a very sophisticated, safe protection unit to save it in terms of an accident, an unfortunate accident, if I may add. But overall, you get 2 motors on board. So that's why it is a 4MATIC, because it does send power to all 4 wheels. And it churns out about 525 PS of power. You get 855 Newton meters of torque. You can go from 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds. And it has a top speed of 210 kilometers per hour. So it is one fantastic vehicle to drive. But the icing on the cake is that it has an ARAI certified range of 800 plus kilometers per charge. That is the highest that we have seen in the market currently. And even if you dumb it down to real world conditions, you're still going to get a very good 600 kilometers to the charge, which means that you can go from, Chennai to Kodaikanal and back, probably. Or if you stretch it a bit, you can maybe do a Mumbai to Goa run. So fantastic range. It sort of takes away the whole thing about having, range anxiety. I don't think that's a concern when it comes to this car. Well, the big question that everybody always has with any car that is out there for review that's come to the market recently is obviously one is the price, which I will be getting to in a little bit. But the second bit is obviously how does it drive? I mean, we're talking about a car that is just so futuristic in nature. So what's it been like to be behind the wheel of this car? Number one, I don't think I've ever been this excited to get behind the wheel of a car in recent years. There are a lot of exciting cars in the market, don't mistake me. But an all-electric luxury sedan that's made in India, there's just something else about it. And so when I got to get behind the wheel, the first thing that hit me was, wow, this is extremely refined. It doesn't have that slight, it's a weird nature of electric vehicles, especially lower down in the rung. But this one feels extremely refined, very silent, obviously. And as you pull away, you do know you're in an electric vehicle just because of that sheer amount of torque that you get to feel from the word go. But out on the streets, easy to navigate through city traffic. You can play with the regen mode so that they don't sort of obstruct the way that you want it to slow down in traffic. So you can do a normal regeneration, strong regeneration, set it to intelligent regeneration if you want. But and you can also turn it off, which again, I thought was a novel feature to have on board, which was also quite handy in start-go and start-stop traffic. So, but having said that, in the city, easy to use, easy to navigate through traffic. The steering feels nice and light. You really don't feel the weight of the car at all, whether you're at city speeds or out on the highway. Once we got on the highway, I mean, you step on that gas and you unleash a beast. The first time I did it, I was in comfort mode. And the second time I tried slamming the gas was in sport mode. So you want that pushback in your seat feel, you want that aircraft taking off feel, well, the EQS will give it to you. That's what it feels like to drive. And obviously, Mercedes being Mercedes, they've ensured that drive dynamics are brilliant, comfort is brilliant. So the suspension setup is spot on. It just soaks up road undulations with ease. And despite being a little low to the ground, Mercedes has given you the ability to raise the ground clearance by 15 mm at the push of a button. Plus, you can geotag speed breakers so that the car remembers that this is where it needs to go up in the future. All of this makes it an easy vehicle to drive around town, an easy vehicle to take out on the highway, and it's just such a wonderful vehicle to be behind the steering wheel of. Well, with great power, you always need great responsibility. So when it comes to safety, well, Mercedes is a Mercedes for a reason because they build very safe cars. And the EQS 580 4MATIC does have a Euro NCAP rating of 5. So that's the highest you can get. And that's because it comes with ADAS Level 2 advanced driver assistance systems, which give you a radar up front, a whole bunch of cameras. You got lane keep assist, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control. There are 9 airbags on board, and it's just built out of a structure that's designed to handle even a high-speed impact if you have an unfortunate accident. So that's what gives it a 5-star rating, and that's what makes it one of our safest cars out on the road today. So the Mercedes-Benz EQS 580 4MATIC, made in India, making India proud, and winning hearts in the way that it just performs. So what do I have to say about this car? Well, the reason that I'm sitting in the boot for this is because I think that this is one of the greatest features of this car. is despite everything, Mercedes has also kept it so practical. In their presentation, they said it's designed for a couple of bags and 2 golf bags as well. But I'm 6'2" and I'm nicely seated in the back because you've got a lot of space to get a lot of luggage on board. And this is a vehicle that can be used for those overnight trips, for those weekend getaways. It is a vehicle that you can take out there and really enjoy the way that you have always enjoyed a Mercedes car. And having said that, I think what Mercedes has delivered as a package is just the future on wheels. You know, I'm sitting in 2050 right now, or I'm sitting in 2030 right now, to be a little bit more realistic, because everything about this car is just so futuristic, yet it is so intuitive to use. And I think that's what wins you over about this. The fact that it's made in India is a proud moment for all of us. And the fact that it is priced less than the regular S-Class at 1.55 crore is the icing on the cake. So you're getting an amazing set of wheels that's all about being sustainable. It's future-proof, and it is the way that luxury will look like, and in this case already looks like for us today.